Ever had a situations where you felt, all right, I need to step up my game here. I really need to be more influential, more persuasive in this specific situation. I know my clients do, and talking about persuasion and influence is usually a topic where we go deep with clients, because it's usually where there is a lot of frustrations, or where they really need to step up their game to be able to move forward with their goals. And it can show up in many different ways. It can be, for instance, a manager who is a little bit struggling to see how to do performance review with the team and make sure that the team is actually performing better after the conversation. Or it can be an entrepreneur who is thinking, how can I really convince my potential clients to actually buy from me, or investors to actually invest in my business. It can be simply somebody who says, I have ambition, but actually my family or my partner is not supporting me, and I really want to get them on board so that I can perform at my best level, because I know they are supporting me. So this can be different types of influence and persuasion situation where you feel like, I need to make it happen, and that means I really need to be more influential and persuasive. So this is never easy. It requires some trials and error. It requires to go at it for as long as it needs to actually happen. And I just want to give you today a couple of steps that you can already have a look at, just to improve your baseline of influence and persuasion, by very simple steps, but very fundamental ones. The first one, easy one, prepare. It might look easy to say yes when I want to have a difficult conversation or something where I actually feel some sense of pressure that I need to make it happen. I will prepare. But unfortunately, I see that sometimes preparation is not really happening, or a person is not really stepping into the conversation with as much clarity or intentionality about what needs to happen, for instance. And this is really one of the steps that can be fundamental for you. Just do a deep preparation before you go in any high-stake conversation like this. And preparation will be asking yourself as many questions as possible. So, what is the real outcome you want to get from the conversation? What would you say at the end of the conversation? Okay, this was successful because this is what's happening now. How do you want to show up? What tone of voice are you going to use during the meeting to actually make sure the person in front of you is receiving what you are saying? What are the things you want to discuss in depth, and how can you frame them positively, so if there is something with a little bit of conflict potentially there, that the person in front of you is still going to feel respected and is still going to be listening to you. What else? What are you going to do for follow-up after the conversation? What is the next stage of your influence and persuasion attempt there? A lot of questions you can ask yourself there about the content, about how the person in front of you will receive you, how you're going to show up. But in essence, here is really ask yourself as many questions as possible, so that you feel prepared when you go there, and you make also the conversation smoother for both parties. The second thing that is fundamental as well, and it's one that we forget, is care. It seems straightforward when I say this, that if you are trying to be influential or persuasive on a specific situation, that you actually care about it. The reality is, it's not just you need to care about it, it's that you need to be 100% committed emotionally to make these results happen as a result of the conversation. You need to really care about the people in front of you that you are trying to influence or persuade. You need to really care about you being in charge of making the effort to have this happen. I sometimes, talk to managers who are saying, yes, I want my team to improve their performance. But when you go a little bit deeper, you hear that they don't actually believe that the team is capable of doing that. They don't believe that the people they have in the team are doing a great job. And it's like, if you don't believe in the people in front of you, you cannot influence them. Same thing with entrepreneurs. I have entrepreneurs saying, yes, I really want my business to work and I really want to get clients. And then when we talk a little bit further, they get discouraged after the first attempt at selling. They don't really follow up, for instance. So that type of things is really, you need to be committed absolutely to make it happen. You need to really say, yes, I believe in the people I'm trying to persuade, sell to, or convince to support me. You really need to believe and respect them as human beings as much as possible. And you also really need to care about making it happen. You need to be like this fearless person who goes after it relentlessly, but with like, not because you want to be very stubborn, but just because you have this very intense, positive emotional commitment to make it happen. So if you don't have this right now, and if you say, no, you know what, actually, I don't think I care as much as that, that's something to go and have a look at. Try to pump yourself up there. Try to find a way to be even more caring about the people in front of you. But that's gonna make actually a difference in the way you communicate, very simply. And then the last bit is optimize. Optimize the condition in which you are going to have the conversation. Don't go having a conversation where you know there is potentially conflict or rough emotions at the end of the day, after being super exhausted and having been running everywhere and already having dealt with frustrating people earlier. That's not going to give you great results. So think about your optimum conditions. Optimum conditions in terms of time. So really pick the moment where you know you're going to be fresh, open, resourceful, able to, handle your own emotions in a way that still supports the conversation. Pick your environment as well. If you feel that maybe, if you want to be as comfortable as possible in the conversation, what will be the best place for you to do it? What will help you to have around you to actually help you be relaxed, comfortable, and just really focus fully on having the conversation. Think about as well in terms of optimum condition in terms of yourself. So what do you need to do in terms of your energy to be ready to have this conversation? What do you need to think about as well in terms of body, in terms of voice, in terms of tone when you are in the conversation? Because sometimes we show up in different ways. Maybe we get angry in the tone of voice, or we get a little bit sharper, or the body is closing, this type of things. So think about your optimum conditions as well. When you're the most relaxed, with a good friend, for instance, how do you use your body, your voice differently? And try to really think about how you can, create that as well in terms of condition when you are having the conversation. So it's all little things here. So really prepare yourself to make sure you are as clear and intentional as possible. Truly, 100% deeply care about making it happen for you and for the people in front of you as well. And also optimize your conditions before you go into the conversation. This will be my fundamental steps for you. But if you want to go deeper and if you want to have further conversation around building more influence or persuasion in your relationships or in your workplace, let me know. I love to coach on these topics, so we can always have a chat. I'm going to put a link in the comments down below where you can also go sign up for a free session, and we can go explore that in a personalized way as well.